high alert. Yeah, I wanted to bring you, I mean, anytime, let me just tell you what made me do that. Anytime that you have a new low being created in the market and then you have a great report come out, the 830 numbers should have sent the market to new highs, okay? And because of that, after those new highs, I thought that we'd rally with that fundamental news. But the S&P told a different story. They started selling it in front of the announcement and kept selling it, and we went down to 66.30. And that's a warning sign. Anytime you see stuff like that, you've got to play it cautious. I had a TQQ trade that we got out of, and I was happy to get out of it. And I don't take chances because I trade pretty good volume on trades, and I can take a hit, but if I take the full hit, it's really hard to make it up. So I just take the losses and move on. So I took a loss on that TQQ trade, but that's okay because I'll get it back once the day unfolds. Now let's talk about the day. The market rallied off those lows. It went right to the number, which is 66.75. You ought to write that number down, 66.75. That's a real breaking point for this current market, 66.75. It rallied up to it, and now it's rolling back over again. And I told you in the video that you ought to call up a website called Kalshi, and you ought to look at the odds of a government shutdown. I've been watching it all morning. By Wednesday, it's gone from 62 to 67%. If that number gets over 80%, then just like an option gets over 80, it doesn't usually go back. And it's a good gauge of what's going on behind the scenes. Does everybody understand that website? There it is right there. Jonathan put it in there. I got it up on the screen. It took a little real estate, but I put it up there, and I hope that helps you when we get in one of these bunker mentalities. You check all your open positions and make sure that you're in a good position to weather any downturn. And so I'm going to go through the slides, and we'll do it real quick, okay? And eventually I will, okay? There we go. Risk involved in trading past performance is not indicative of future results. And you're recording this, right? You got YouTube on?
And recording, yep, sure are.
Perfect. Folks, I'm a former Air Force officer. I was taught in the Air Force to think about the strategic and tactical moves. And a tactical move for me today would be to be very cautious in a market like this, okay? Very cautious. And that's what I'm doing, okay? At DTI, we help you master the markets through education, training, and experience. Now, if you're interested in following all my services, the cheapest way to do that is through dtitrader.com/gold. Okay? Doesn't include futures education or in-person classes, but dtitrader.com/gold. If you want to, talk to us about it, I'll talk to you, or one of the salespeople, Kareem, Jeffrey Andraka, or Kelly Barber will be glad to talk to you. Okay. We run a special today, so if you're interested in that, put your money in there. Carrie says best money you ever spent. Thank you, Carrie, for doing that. Saying that. Okay. In my opinion, the market, for the first time in about 3 months, has had 3 days of new lows. The market is sort of like, it's interesting to follow, but once it starts these lows, they got to stop at some point. Either it flushes out at the bottom or you go back above one of the highs. Does everybody know what I mean by that? That's how you can watch and take advantage of the current market. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? So you look at the high of the market, and I would use 67.15 on the S&P because that's the opening of the week. If the market rallied, got back above 67.15, you can take everything I'm about to tell you, throw it out the window, and we go back to the bulls. Does everybody understand that? Please acknowledge you understand that key point, okay? The reason you're here is to benefit off my experience and all the good, the good moves where it's layups and melt up and all that. But also the reason you're here is people know, hello, Miles signed in as Noree. I figured that out, Miles, Noree. But if you pay attention, I think you'll do well. One of my students took me up on the fact that at the class, buying silver, and they got into silver, and I sent in a message this morning from the class. He's coming back in December. I said, take your profits on silver. It's up over $45 today. That was my target. It's currently $44.98. I'll get back in next week. I'll talk a little bit about silver. Well, I might as well do it now. Gold and silver will follow the market down if the market goes down. So you got to be aware of that. Okay. But next week, if we did shut down, it will be down for, usually 24 to 36 hours, and then it starts rallying contrary to the regular market. Everybody understand that timing that I'm giving you? That's many plays over the years. 24 to 36 hours after that, you will be able to buy gold and silver with reckless abandon, okay? Because it will go higher if we did shut down, okay? So we'll talk about that when that occurs. That's just to give you a heads up about next week, my opinion. Now, the GDP released this morning is exactly what I thought about the numbers. However, I was cautious because the numbers, we started coming down from those highs from last week, 67.56. And I said, why are we coming down? That news right there should have sent us to new highs. It didn't. That's called divergence. So that was the first shot as a trader, as a warning sign. Everybody understand that? Anytime you get divergence on news like that, you don't say, well, it should be going up based on that news. Yes, it should, but there's something else that's on the market's mind, so to speak. And that's what I recognized this morning. That's why I told people that, high alert, okay? You get that with me. Anybody that went through October 19th, 1987 would be foolish, okay, not to warn you when they see warning signs. That was a warning sign, okay? So the economy was good. Now, the topic that is in everybody's window right now is a government shutdown. Typically, a government shutdown doesn't happen because it's devastating for the uncertainty, okay? But let's look at the last time you had a government shutdown. In the week leading up to the 2018-2019 government shutdown, the S&P dropped 7%. So if you did have a government shutdown, you're looking at just multiply 93% times the S&P right now. Multiply it times 6665. What number does that give you on the S&P? If you multiply 93% times that.
From 66.65, the current price?
Yep, do that.
Is about 6,200 or so.
So if we drop to 6,200, what would that do? It'd do a couple of things. First, it would take out the monthly open for the E-mini. The monthly open for the E-mini is 64.78, and it would do it right at the end of the month, which would throw the market into a sell if we took out the monthly open. Everybody understand the dynamics of the DTI approach? If that occurred. So that's why we're on high alert, waiting for the tell. But we got something today we didn't have back in my career. We have a gauge, okay? And that gauge is from the forecast markets. Not just got to be right, but it gives us a feel for what's happening out there. That there would be the outcome or close to outcome if we did have a government shutdown. Okay, so you know, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, Jonathan. Remember that number, write it down, because once we get to the moneymaker, we can see where things would be. Because generally speaking, 75% of all stocks follow the S&P. Now, that's in the week. Okay.
Yeah. A couple of more interesting facts about that one. That's the longest shutdown in history was the one in 2018, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And during the 35-day shutdown time, the S&P actually gained 10%. So I just have a summary slide here. Back in 18, 19, the S&P lost 7% in the week before the shutdown. And then during that 35-day shutdown, it actually gained 10%.
And how would we be able to recognize that it was starting to gain? Very simply, October 1st is Wednesday. October 3rd is Friday. Our 3-day algo will give us the numbers that tell us that the pressure's off and we're ready to go back up. Everybody understand that? We got the tools. Are y'all going to use it? I'm going to use them. This is the beauty of what we put together here at DTI. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you, because nothing's better than what we're going to do if this occurs. Make it to the downside, flip it around, make it to the upside. We have the tools, and that tool is the roadmap software. Very interesting, isn't it? Seeing that. And if I went back, I could show you, okay? We could see that. There's another interesting fact you need to know also. The Supreme Court has decided that President Trump can decide who to let go. This is a positive thing. Let go that's bureaucratic that he doesn't need. Remember everybody fighting him on cutting government expense? That might be, if it happens, that might be something that's a very positive. It comes out of this. Our government's expenses might go down when they come out. Just throwing that out there for people. Okay, a lot of things good could happen if it happens. A little rough in the stock market if you long in stock, because it's going to fall pretty good. Okay, so let's keep going.
Hey, you mentioned that website Kalshi. There's a link for it. It's kalshi.com, and I got a link directly to the odds of a government shutdown by Wednesday, October 1st that we've been watching there, Tom.
Yeah, can we show that to everybody what it's like?
Yep, definitely. Yep. Should be loading in here. %66 is the odds of what the odds are saying right now.
And let me just give you some rules. It was at 60 to 62 this morning. It went up to 67%. I've been watching on my tape reader, and now it's at 66, which is negative for the current market. Okay. Any questions about how to read this poll? This is something I'd keep up on my screen and check if I was making any decisions. Okay, and we'll be checking. That's good, John, if you did that. That's great. Let's talk about protecting against the downside with pocket puts. This is something that I've used for years, and your goal is to have a strategy put in place to take advantage of extended downturn in the markets. Well, if you're going to, if the outcome might be about 5 to 7%, that's a pretty good drop in a short period of time, wouldn't you say? And the pocket put strategy, in this case, might be a necessary thing that we would consider. Okay, haven't done it yet, but it might be a necessary thing. Keep it simple. Think of a pocket put strategy as having insurance, risk money you're willing to lose. Our success rate with pocket puts over time, okay? The majority of the time we've ever used it, we made money. I don't have the exact number for you, but our timing has been impeccable when it comes to pocket puts. I think this is the time we'll consider it. And all you got to do is listen to me. I will let you know at the live presentation or whatever happens if I got it or not. I don't have it right now, but I'll let you know. Okay? Everybody understand what I'm saying? I don't have it right now. But I tell you one thing, if that government shutdown gets over 80%, I'll get some. That's my trigger. So you got what I got to look at. Any questions on the pocket puts or the triggers? Yeah, I would probably use the QQQ, Neil, QQQ puts if I did it. And I'd go out at least past October 6th if I did it. Or you could do the SQQQ. You could do the actual stock itself if you're going to carry it. Right, bud? If you got that way. Now, everybody, please understand. I'm not saying go do this. I'm telling you, you get a plan in place. Because when the news came out this morning, you have to be able to think tactically. That news should have rocketed this market to new highs, in my opinion. And that's why I'm spending this time talking about this. And I hope you're listening and I hope you're paying attention. Okay? Doesn't mean it has to happen. I'm just getting you mentally prepared. If all of a sudden I start firing things, you'll understand where it's coming from. Okay? Now, last night I talked about the roadmap retirement calendar. Now, most people think, oh, if this stock pops up, you already go buy it. There's steps to get to the buy. And I want to cover that for people to have the roadmap, okay? And this is something everybody needs to learn. Finding stocks with the roadmap retirement calendar. Jonathan, you take it over and I'll add comments when I think are necessary.
Yeah, so I got results from, let me just go to the roadmap because those of you that do have the roadmap are probably interested in how to get this. If we go to scans and go to retirement calendar, under scans, retirement calendar, if you at the bottom left, there's a little button for settings, and it might be hard to see, but this is what we're looking at here. I've got the box for optionable checked. Now I'm just gonna wait a second here and make sure everybody has roadmap can get.
Everybody, hey, as he goes through the steps, say, yes, Jonathan, I got it, or yes, I see it, where you can move on. I want everybody to know how to use this, okay? Okay.
So bottom left, click on the settings tab to get here. Along the left column, the first box you want to check is optionable. All right. The next box you want to check is percent. And out to the right of percent, you want to have 70 as the percent level. All right, Buck says you took a screenshot. That's a great idea, taking a screenshot. Thanks, Buck. All right, but we got percent checked and the number 70 out to the right. Next, we have number of years. The box is checked and out to the right is the number 4. Okay, start date and stop date are both checked. Now, here's the most confusing part about this. Out to the right of start date, there's a field that says September 25th. It may not say that for you off the bat. If you click the little calendar icon out to the right, a little menu pops up with a calendar, and you can click today's date at the bottom, which is going to fast forward to today's date. So it might say, when you click the calendar, it might say some month in 2014 or 18 or 21. Click today's date at the bottom, which will fast forward to today's date. And that'll take care of the start date. Now, I wanted to go out about a month time. So the stop date, you got to click the calendar icon out to the right on the stop date. This is a two-step process. First, to kind of fast forward to the current year, because it's not going to say October 2025. It's going to, again, it might say October 2014 or some other odd year. Once you click the calendar and get the drop down, click today's date. That's your first step. And that's only step 1 of 2 for
Everybody got those steps.
and that's just to fast forward to this year. Then you want to go out a month. So I'm going to click the calendar again. Click the calendar again, and I'm going to toggle out to October 2025. And I'm just going to click in the 24th. So again, I went out to October 2025, click the 24th. Once again, the stop date is 2 steps. First, fast forward to the current year by clicking today's date at the bottom. Then go back in there and actually go out a month or 2 months or 3 months, however far out you want to go, searching for stocks. That shows October 24th. All right, a bunch of yeses in the chat. The price minimum and the price maximum boxes are both checked. Out to the right, the price minimum that I have is 30, and the price maximum that I have is 500. Everybody got the price minimum and price maximum? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. Now, in the middle column here, underneath where it says download report, optionals, fundamentals, down below there, this box for show last above year open is checked. The one thing you want to make sure here is make sure you don't have both of the same categories checked. Like we don't want to show last above year open and last below year open. We don't want that. So I just usually we're in a bull market, so I just usually keep the show last above year open checked, and that's good. Leave it at that. Yes, John, you do. John's question was, when you periodically look at this, do you have to reset the start and stop date every time? And yes, you do. Yeah, so you'll get familiar with setting your start date and stop date and all that process. Okay, once you have all these settings, you want to click Save Settings at the top right, or the top right button at least. Save Settings. And then after you save the settings, these 3 buttons down here that I said that say Download, you want to just go in order top to bottom and click the download button. So I'm going to click Download Report and click Yes if it asks you. I think that it only says that because I've already done this today, but I'll click Yes. And the boxes here that you can click on kind of gray out to let you know that it is updating something. All right, so I just downloaded report. I'm going to click Download Optionables. Box is gray out for a moment. Now it's done. Click Download Fundamentals. Click Yes. Box is grayed out for a minute. And it's probably going to take a little bit longer if you're doing this for the first time today. This is the second time I've done this today, so it's, breezing right through it. Once you have done all that, you want to click the Update button. That's the bottom right button that you can click on. Click Update. And then it's going to take a moment to process everything. go search the servers and all the exchanges for the stocks. And when it's done, it should go automatically to the report tab. Let's see if it does that right now. I guess it's thinking. Yep, I got the blue wheels, so the roadmap is thinking hard. There it goes. So I get a report that filters in, and Tom, and one of the maybe if there's time today or next week, I'll talk some more about this retirement counter in our afternoon session. But for today, I want to toggle it over to, I had a slide for the top longs and top shorts. So let's just go back to the slides. You can see tabs down here for longs and shorts. Let's go back to the slides because we want to stay focused here. And
Yeah, I just want to show you, we'll do a training session longer time, but I want to bring this up because people get confused. And you know, you got to educate yourself. No matter what I say, what I do, you got to educate yourself. And if you don't educate yourself, then, you know, it just doesn't work. But notice this. Does everybody notice this? Okay. And Jonathan, talk about this report.
yeah, and Carol said her report is the same. That's exactly what we want to hear. Thank you, Carol. But we're going to focus in today just on one stock. And from the top shorts, we had a lot of Uber stocks. Now, everybody should be familiar with Uber, the stock Uber. And what it's saying here, if you look down the days column, you see 10, 20, or 30. So 20 days, 20 days, 10 days, and 30 days. That's the average holding period that the retirement calendar is suggesting here for short Uber. Over here to the left, it gives you a date. All right, so that's the date in which the trade starts. Essentially, what we've done is we've searched back in time 10 to 20 years of data, and the retirement calendar here has found for us potential trades on Uber that have set up historically. Now, we know that past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results, right? Just because it happened in the past does not necessarily mean it's been a good trade for today, right? Or for this year. But this feature is telling us that looks like September 26th, 75% of the time you could have bought maybe a put or shorted the stock for a 20-day holding period and made money. October 8th was a 20 days period as well. October 12th was only a 10-day period, and October 1st was a 30-day period.
So let me tell you what I take from what that report's showing. It's saying seasonally, Uber struggles over the next 10 or 15 days. Everybody got that? It's going to struggle over the next 10 to 15 days. Well, that's an issue for me because in my retirement account, I have Uber. So this is the first step, and not that I might go short Uber, but it tells me to keep a tight leash on it. Okay, does everybody understand that? You don't ever do anything robotically. You think out things step by step. This was the first step, teeing up Uber. Okay. All right. There's strategies. Okay, let's go. Don't you have another slide here, Jonathan, after you get past this?
Yeah, the retirement calendar was step one of our 4 today. We have many, many, many more tools inside the roadmap we can use, and we want to look at the high noon scanner here.
Right.
So the high noon scanner, I won't open up on the software, but I have a slide for it. When you open up the scan, it scans the market, and there's an all tab at the bottom where you can see all the results. There's also a top 20 long and top 20 shorts, but there's a deep dive tab. So if you find a stock that you want to compare to the high noon setup, you can type it in. And just as a reminder, the high noon setup, it looks at the stock where it's currently trading. It compares that price to the monthly open, and the prior week's range. And it's a very
So
simple.
now we got a number, don't we? We got a number.
Right, that's right. Below
And
90.
that number tells us if it gets below 92, it's in play. Okay? That's step 2. Go to step 3.
Step 3, of course, this is outside the roadmap, but we can look at MTI by DTI to see what that is telling us. And that's the way the daily looks like on MTI. Nice little lines up nicely there, 92.
Okay, so now we got a number again that's validated by the tool, MTI. Okay.
And for those that don't know, the MTI is our proprietary indicator you can put on Thinkorswim. And we follow, to keep it very simple, we follow the white lines. And below 92 would be below those white lines.
Yep. And 94 would tell you, hey, it's getting close. It's headed that way. Okay. All right, let's keep going. That's step 3. And then finally, you go to the roadmap compass, which I suggest for anything you do, any trading to look at. Let's bring up the compass.
All right, Tom, I've got a daily chart and then followed by a 30-minute chart, which was
Let's
taken
look at it.
half hour ago, probably.
So Uber has turned a little south, hadn't it, on the daily chart, looking at the last 2 bars. And up here at 97. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it dipped into that sell zone area.
Yep.
Below you'd see a little red arrow pop up if we saw a lower low below that low from today.
Okay, so Uber, instead of waiting to 92, my compass is saying the 4 steps says it's negative. It's made a new low on this bar. I'm long, a recent long last Friday, so I'm going to tell Jonathan to post in there, exit Uber. I play it safe, especially with the general market doing what it's doing. This is the 4th step. And Jonathan, I'd go back and I would number these steps where they know this is the 4th step. Does everybody understand the value of what I talked about last night now with the roadmap software, how to use it? Does everybody understand that? These 4 steps put the odds in your favor. And that is the key difference of everything that you do. And I wanted to cover it. I didn't want to take a lot of time doing it, but I just thought it was necessary to have a little respect for the work we put in to make this work. Nobody does what I just did. Nobody. Because I understand you tee things up and you tee it up with the calendar. And then you take it down the fairway using a golf analogy until you get to the green. And the last thing you do, you put it, hopefully for the hole. This should make everybody that has a roadmap thrilled to death to learn this process. It's a heck of a process, getting you where you want to get to. That's why years ago, general category season out, you got to know about this stuff. You like it, John? John says it's awesome. Yep. And yeah, look. This is something that got my attention. Uber got my attention. I actually own Uber. I'm not trying to find a new trade. I'm just trying to protect what I got. Okay. And that's not what this is about. We'll teach you more about it as we go further. Let's get to the train and trade, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we update this real quick since we're live. September 25th, and the time is 11:39. All right, a couple more shorts on there at this point. Amazon, Toll Brothers, Gilead, Berkshire, ETH still short.
The market is cracking a little bit, isn't it?
Yep, that's what this is saying.
That's what it's telling you. Again, my rule, 75%. 75% follow the S&P 500. That's why I give you the S&P 500. And if you go back and think about my pivot number today, 6,700. 6,700 is a pivot number, and I give it away on T-Buzz Talk and Trade, and it's free. It hadn't been above 6,700 since last night. Folks, you know how much that's worth to you if you learn what I'm trying to teach you? You're not sitting there following junk. You're basically playing with the trend. Thank you, David, for saying that. All right, Monday and Friday, train and trade. Reminder, all trades in train and trade will be tracked through T-Buzz Talk and Trade, dtitrader.com/TNT. Now, today's focus, anyone who trades with a roadmap, moneymaker, has odds of success more in their favor. I'm going to teach you why I say that. Feature gives us support and resistance for any levels, any ticker we want. Unique part about the moneymaker is we use relative moves against the S&P futures to predict these potential support and resistance levels. Now, I told you to kill the downtrend, you got to get above 67.05. That's step number one. That's why that's the top dog number right there. And if you want to know where these other stocks need to get above, TQQ needs to get above 101.86. Okay. I also took 66.31, which was the low of the big sell-off, and said, what tells me we got another leg down? And then I broke it down with key tickers. Does everybody see the TQQ's got 98.32? Everybody see that? I had an option, a 99, 98.5, but it expires tomorrow. The odds are too great. I step aside because I can do that trade over and over again using the rules. And one of my rules is the option double, I got out of it. That's on the TQQ. Because we went down to 68.30, no sense in taking that kind of risk when it's already had the power to go down that low today. Okay? And we're not above 67.05, which tells me a lot more work the market's got to do to change its tune. That's the way that works. There's some of the stocks. Go back. Look at Palantir. I won't bring it up on Palantir. Palantir is currently 183.42. It's outperforming. It's outperforming the market. And let me look at NVIDIA just since I'm on this subject. 178. Yeah, NVIDIA's in the range. Never mind. Anyway, but the one that's outperforming is Palantir. But I highlight Palantir. I.e., if we got above 67.05, I'd probably go do an option play on Palantir. Okay? That's the beauty of the moneymaker. Does everybody see the value of this one feature? I use it 4 times a day in the T-Buzz Talk and Trade. We keep it updated at the relevant numbers. And if you learn to use it, it's going to make your trading a lot better. Any questions about this? You should learn how to update it 4 times a day. If not, you want to use my numbers, you got to be in T-Buzz TNT.
Now, Tom, I understand you're going live at 12 today to talk through some of these questions that are coming through, like how do you set the numbers? How do you use the numbers? How do you trade off the numbers? That sort of thing. And so you wanted to invite everybody, which is just around the corner here at 12, to an open house training session of your SPX Alerts program. But I've got a couple slides in here so everybody can learn what the program is, and then we'll take a short break and come back at noon in the same Zoom. Stay right here in the same Zoom, but
Let me stop before we get there, Jonathan. Okay. I want to ask a question or two. Okay. Has it been worth your time to be here this morning to see what we presented? I need to know. Do you see the value of what I gave you this morning? I'm asking that question because we went to a lot of work to bring this to you today, and I want you to benefit from it. Okay. Now let's go into the next part. The SPX is probably the toughest market I ever learned to trade. I worked on it. I built a simple, repeatable system that fits the opening hour. And that's part of my SPX program. We got some great master classes that we put together to teach you about market timing. The SPX and SSP are the two tactics. My focus today will be on the XSP. Okay? I'll also consider SPX if you got that kind of move, and I'll tell you how it's going to work. The XSP, SPX, XSP beta program that I'm running right now has been all about training and making sure everybody's up to speed. October 1, we kick it off. We'll focus on Tuesday and Thursday for hand-holding trading, I'll call it. But you'll know what to do. Like so many people, I've taught market timing. Let me ask some of the people in the program, has the training I've given you on market timing helped you today and other things? Because my goal was to get everybody accurate 70%. Has it helped you? Have you been able to profit from what I've taught you with the education? I worked real hard over the last month making sure people could learn market timing, and I think I'm in pretty good shape on that part of it. Neil said he made money off of being short this morning. Way to go, Neil. Value plus when I get here, okay? Next slide. The subscription will start October 1st. Rob Jeffries made $1,000. I say that helped you. These are the times in general, there's always exceptions, that you focus on long calls, long puts, SPX in the morning. You heard what everybody's doing there. We're going to spend time over the next week talking about XSP 3:30 to 4. The 1-year membership's $2,000. It's worth $10,000 to you if it's not a penny less. If you want to join me, dtitrader.com/SPX beta. Here's the way it's going to work. We're going to do a training session starting at 12. And then I'm going to come back with a special broadcast at 3:30 for those members. So you got a little time to see if you want to be part of it. So, Jonathan, how are we going to do this? Just take a little break and come back or answer any questions, but we'll be back at 12 to kick off the open house for us. Way to go, Rob. I love hearing that kind of stuff.
Yep, Tom, we're going to just take 11 minutes and go back at noon. So I'll just
Perfect.
set a timer up and just stay
I'm
here.
gonna get some tea to drink then. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, John, why don't you put a alert up where they'll know when we're gonna come back?
Yeah. We'll
Don't
do
leave. You're about to
it.
get some really key information for what I tell you. Don't just run off to something else and lose money when you can learn what I'm about to teach you.
Got 13 minutes up. Looks like we're back at 12:02 Eastern, 11:02 my time, but 12:02 Eastern. See you then. Hey, Tom, I don't know if you're back there, but look what Frank just posted. He used what you taught him on the SPX setup, and he bought some SPX puts and made over 800 bucks this morning. Great job, Frank. Great job, Frank. What Frank's saying, the active trader windows, the setup that Tom walks you through in all the training. We use a little setup on Thinkorswim called Active Trader to set everything up. Frank bought puts on the SPX this morning and made $821.16 on his first trade using the system. Awesome, Frank. Thanks for posting.
That's outstanding, Frank. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. All right, Jonathan, do we want to go to a live market first, or do you want to, how do you want to do this?
Whatever route you want to go, Tom, doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me.
All right, let's go to a live market and bring up the, if you will, bring up the XSP in a live market. Compass chart on the XSP.
Yep. Let's see. 30-minute chart of XSP roadmap chart.
Okay. What do we know about this time of day? What time is key about this time of day? That's a question for everybody here. It's right after Genesis, correct? What else do we know? The trend from this morning, has it been coming up or going down? I'm talking about from the RB3. RB3, Philip. The trend has been coming up from this morning. So, if you interpret it as going from down to up, then you got to say to yourself, what do the odds say it's going to keep going up? 1 out of 5, right? Everybody with me on that? 1 out of 5, it keeps going higher. Four out of 5, it rolls over during this time frame. Now, just because it's up here at the top of its frame doesn't mean it can't roll over. It might attempt to go higher. And the obvious place would be the low of and Jonathan, that low of that, I guess that bar this morning, 7 o'clock, or what time is that white bar right there? No, the one, hold on.
This right here was yesterday's closing bell number there.
Yeah, the low of that bar is what?
663.07.
So write that number down. 663.07 would be, if it's going to roll over, okay? If it's going to roll over, that's where resistance is going to be. 663.67. Now, the high of that bar is what?
That was 663.07 on the bottom side and 663.97 on the top side.
Call it 664. Just call it 63.64. So, as a trader, our goal is to try to figure out, right, what the direction is going to be. Just because it makes a higher high on at this time doesn't mean it's going to go higher. It means it could roll over because that's what the odds say. Does everybody understand that? Because 4 out of 5 times, Dave, the market will reverse at this time of day. If it's going up, it typically reverses, comes back down and tests the low of RB3. This is a very important lesson I'm teaching you about market timing. And this is what the XSP is saying. I just wanted you to see that before we got into the slides. All right, let's go to the slides now, Jonathan. Yeah, the stats from Genesis history show us that, Pete. I'm trying to show people not only direction, but also where resistance and support would be if that's what you're using. Let's look at the roadmap moneymaker, okay?
Yeah, we just looked at this over in Training Trade. I want to talk a little bit about how you get these levels, Tom. There was a question. That's a good one to cover.
Yeah, okay. So how did I get 6705? Quite simply, I looked at the high of this session, which if you go look at it right now, the high of this session is 6705. Go figure. I took it from what the market actually did.
And if I toggle back to the roadmap to show that real quick, we got on the compass chart right here, it says the daily high is 6705. You can also see that stamp right there from the high of the day, right there on the compass metrics.
Okay. Well, how did I get the low on the moneymaker? Well, again, I went to the real-time trading and the low was 66.31, so that's where I got it. I'm framing the numbers based on what I know to be the market has told me, 66.31. This is how you do it, okay? This is how you do it this time of day. And that's where these levels come from when you look at it. So, I now have a understanding of what to do, right? Okay, so now let's go, Jonathan, if we can. Let's go to the slides. Let's talk strategies to be long and strategies to be short. Right now, everybody understands you've got an out going on, right? Okay. Trading premium on the XSP. If going long on the XSP, you can sell a put spread. And that put spread can be 0 days, 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days out. You can sell a put spread. You set your strikes below the moneymaker lows. So let's go back and look at the moneymaker. Go back and look at that slide that had the moneymaker on it. What are the lows of the XSP? 658. Everybody see that 658 right there? So if I sold a put, a bullish spread, I'd want to be below 658. Tell me everybody saw how I made the connection. 658. Okay. All right, let's go back to the slides. That would be a credit put spread selling the 658. If I was going short, I'd want to sell a credit call spread. So let's go back and look and see where I would want to set the call spread. On the XSP, it would be 664.4, but I'd probably sell a 665. Now, what's interesting about 63.64? That's where the retracement would go to if the market keeps going higher without for sure telling me I'm going higher. Okay. Once I got above 664, then I would have the trigger to go sell the 658 put. Okay. Now let's go and look at parameters I like, right? The parameters I like is I like minimum of about 20 cents. And like I said, I can do it 1, 2, or 3 days into the future, depending on what's happening. Now, the key, using what I just taught you, this is where the real key is time of entry. Time of entry for this trade, I like to do it at 3:30 to 4. That's why I said, if you're a member of SPX/XSP, then you'll be given an invitation to be there with me today at 3:30 to 4. That's my plan. I'll enter in the last half hour of the cash market hours. I exit the morning in the first hour. My all bets off number, if I sell the premiums, is a double. I get out. Simple rules to keep me in the game. Is there any questions about what I just taught you about the rules of the XSP? Pretty good information, isn't it? We're in a neutral position right now. And because we're in a neutral position, we go for the heart of the trade zone on the XSP, which is 3:30 to 4. That's what I wanted to cover to set up this afternoon's 3:30 to 4. So well, John, if I've got a premium sale, I want to keep the days down to about a max of 3, okay? That's what I'm looking to do, okay? So sell it where it's a max of 3 days. I want that premium to die out because I really want to get out tomorrow morning if I get the direction right. And then exit the next morning. Okay. Now, if you join my SPX beta program today, your subscription will not start till October 1st. You'll be invited back today at 3:30 for a live trading bonus session. And you'll be invited again for every bonus session, everything I do between now and next, well, I guess October 1st. Okay? Any questions about this program? Jonathan, I think we ought to play, for a lot of people that's new to this program, we probably ought to play the last time. It's got more slides they can listen to, and we can sit and ask your questions at the end.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me get with Adam and find one we can play, and we'll fire it up.
Yeah, because I think, anybody got any questions? I'm going to keep teaching on XSP until we kick off the program. I'll be trading live next Tuesday morning at 9:45 to 10:30 on a straight call put. So you got a lot of chances to get scholarships just like Frank did, like other people in the program have done with the training and what we've done. They ought to say, be like Frank. Well, they be like Frank, right, Frank? Your first trade. You studied, you worked at it. That's good. Wendy, Genesis sets up the general market besides giving you trades. This focuses on the vehicle of SPX and XSP. This is a double bang approach to take advantage of what we're teaching and doing. I can't be any clearer. This is something everybody here ought to be part of.
Hey, Tom, I think I found one we can listen through.
Okay, I'll sit here and listen with you. We'll see what the market does during the period the thing plays. Who knows? Might be an opportunity. Let it play. Talk to everybody about the SPX because I had a major announcement on the SPX. I've spent in training, I guess this will be 2 months in training. And my goal was, when I started with the group of people, was to get them 70% accurate. I keep getting emails from people inside this class saying, you got to get more people in here because it's changed their whole nature of their approach, what I've taught. And so the SPX is probably the most powerful way to take advantage of October, November, December coming up with me anyway, because I'm going to hit it on both ends. What I mean by that, I'm going to hit it on both ends. My plan is to teach you how to take the SPX with zero dated options, buying a call, buying a put. My backup plan for you is to teach you how to use the XSP at the end of the day with an overnight trade using XSP. And so you're going to have a double bang effect by doing those simple trades that I'm going to teach you. Well, I noticed looking at, I asked Jonathan to give me all the training we've done because we've been training out a lot. I said, Jonathan, show me what we've covered. And he showed me what we covered. I said, I need to spend a little bit more time on the XSP because I haven't spent much time on it. And now I'm going to devote between now and the end of next week to more training on the XSP portion of the SPX. So here's what I did. I said, forget about us starting September 15th. We will start October 1. So if you're in the SPX program, you got an extra, 10, 11 days in it in training that I'm going to do because my goal is teach you how to use the XSP in premium capture trades. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about with premium capture before I get into the slides? Because this to me is a way to hit it on both ends. I don't know. I think if you'll learn these two approaches, you can translate this to other things you do in the market, but I'm going to nurture this in with you over the next year. So we'll start October 1, and I'm pretty proud to say we've done a good job getting everybody accurate. All you got to do is ask it, okay? And Neil says, the moneymaker part of the premium capture is just invaluable. Priceless is the word you're trying to find, okay? All right, let's go through the slides real quick, let everybody know how this program has evolved and how good it is. This is the beta version. I tell people this is the toughest market I've ever learned to trade and teach. A lot of risk involved in the SPX. I've stayed away from the SPX because I thought it was too much risk for the average retail trader. I give credit to Fred. He was at a one-on-one and he's talking about, I said, oh, Fred, if I spend this time on it, I'm going to get good at it and be able to teach it. And that's what I've done. It's the toughest market I ever learned to trade. I got it down to, I would call the art form of it now. I didn't get there overnight, but I knew discipline was a key And this repeatable system that I've fixed allows you 5 shots a week. Now I'm ready to hold your hand 2 of those 5 days in this system. That's for buying a call, buying a put. I also intended to teach you about the XSP, which I've been doing for years, and I sort of slided the training on that. That's why I extended the period out to October 1. The mini version allows me to do a lot of contracts, and I like it. So that's XSP. So let's just, the 2 tactics I said at the beginning, I'll focus on buying a simple call, buying a put. I want to do it early in the morning because on a same day option, the odds are in your favor if you get the trend right to make money. Does everybody understand why I like the early hour and a half to decide on direction? Does everybody understand that? It's an odds game. The odds swing against you as a buyer in the afternoon. In the afternoon, I come back with my premium capture. And that happens, that defines our risk. This is a beautiful program we put together. Okay? Now, I've extended the beta period to October 1, which means the subscription doesn't start until October 1. I will include more master classes, more education as it's needed, but I'll have most of the master classes put together by the end of next week for the XSP. How much would you pay if somebody could get you to 70% accurate for every trade you ever did? Give me a dollar amount. How much would that be worth to be that good? 70% accurate for every trade you ever did. Dollars, 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 right? All right, so here's a look at what we've covered so far. 5 top, which we did a lot more in this. Live trading, SPX, and XSP. How to build the optimum setup for trading. I showed the tools I use and how to do it. A step-by-step plan to trigger a long call or long put. How to set up the active trader window inside of Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim, and how to use the Roadmap Moneymaker to boost your results. And how to sell premium XSP in the final hour of the cash market. I've started there, but I'm gonna get more extensive with that. So my goal is you make your money during the day, you get in that direction. At the end of the day, you make your money with an overnight trade in that last hour into the next morning. That's my game plan. Now, when I buy the calls in the morning, and then I put an XSP on the end of the day, it could be totally opposite of my direction based on how far we went with the calls. Sometimes I'll pair those and structure the risk. We got a lot to do over the next year together. Bonus, bonus, bonus. Now, this is the money maker. We put this out in our T&T room, but this is the money maker I'm using for the day. I'm saying that the next resistance of the S&P will be 67.19. I'm saying the low would be 66.79. If we go to 67.19, the SPX is going to make it to 66.59. The SPX is currently 66.40. So if we turn positive, okay, like I thought we would, then you're going to see the market put on the dog, so to speak, as we get into this afternoon, especially with Genesis out right now. That's the beautiful thing about doing what I'm doing. The beta program is the service, the new one I started. I'll focus on Tuesday and Thursday to be with you, where I can answer ongoing questions and help you. Time frame 1 will be 9:30 to 10:45. Time frame 2 will be 3:30 to 4. Now, my goal is over the next week to be real aggressive. And now I'm going to take advantage of the last week of September to do this. getting into October 1st. I plan to do at least 10 trades between now and then, okay? Because I think everybody's up to speed, but if you'll get up to speed and get caught up over the weekend, you'll be there if you want to join. The beta program's simple and straightforward. It just keeps expanding, getting better and better and better. I've had people tell me it's best. I've had students tell me, by me breaking down market timing with a goal, been with me 10, 15 years. I never had done that before, but I decided to make that a challenge. It was tough, but I got people who were to give me the right answer. And most people in this program at 10 o'clock have been 100% accurate, not 70% accurate with what I taught it. That's why they post all the gains they've been making. Now, if I get everybody to 70%, which I've done, we'll do it again. We'll start over next week. Why stop? Why stop when things are going your way, right? If we're 70% accurate, just doing the call portion, it's going to pay you about $1,210 every 10 trades. Do the math on that. Now you start adding in XSP, which will be 80% accurate on that. A lot easier doing the XSP for 80% accurate with an overnight. You'll see it work out to about 80%. Selling options are a lot easier than buying options. Keep in mind, I value accuracy in trading. So when you buy a call the next time, I want you to think about what I'm saying today. Be accurate. Get paid better. Look at Palantir today. Now, how good am I? Well, I asked Jonathan to go back and track it. 93% accurate in May. Those are real trades that were issued that everybody here probably enjoyed. 3 losers in the month of May. At the end of the quarter, June, I was 27 winners, 100% accurate. I don't know if I've ever been that accurate, maybe in a short period of time, but not over the course of a month. I actually showed people how to dance. We had a dance class in our Sawgrass, and I was 100% accurate there also. Who attended Sawgrass last year? Keep in mind, we'll be doing it again next year in the first Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of June. Look at the dates. If you want to get joined, it'll be great. %85 accurate in July. August fell down a little bit, 67%. That was August. What did we do in September? Did you do September? You hadn't done September? Okay. We've done really well in September. I've had 160 total winners and losers combined. I've had 162 winners and said, you think you might grow your account if I teach you all this stuff? I think you might. That's 90% accuracy, what I've been running at over from May. September is going to bring it up a little bit because it's really hot in September. I'd say I'd want to learn from somebody who could do that. If you care about growing your money, which you do, or you wouldn't be here. I've got 14 winners and 1 loser so far. Look at that, 93% accurate in September. I knew it was good, I just didn't know how good it was. I asked Jonathan to keep track of this to keep me honest about how good I'm doing or bad I'm doing. That's great, Jonathan. Thank you. So if you're ready to join me for this world-class training and trading, this is train and trade, here's how it works. Join today, supercharge whatever you do for the rest of this year and next year. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Join this series, review those 5 top classes over the weekend and Monday, and be ready to go next Tuesday. Now, if you take action and join today, you qualify to add on that additional training. This is specialized to go advanced. These are advanced classes I'll teach at some point in the future, but it gives you an idea of where I'm taking it. You're going to love it. If you upgrade, you get the advanced. Now, here's the beta offer, the summary. Get a Telegram channel we're into. That's where I'm going to be putting trades out besides the live trades during the week, and they'll be posted in real time when we do that. Reminder, we'll trade the SPX from 9:45 to 10:30, the XSP from 3:30 to 4. Those are the live periods of windows that we enter in, and you'll get over 100 trades over the course of next year. Do the math, and you'll see the true value of this program. All you got to do is be limited exposure to take advantage of it. I don't think I've ever done this much training before I started the service that I've done in this one. So be part of it and act now. Got 20 slots left at this price. Take advantage of it. No procrastination. The accuracy and risk are there in those 5 classes that you'll be ready to go. Think what that's going to do to next week's results. If you go through those 5 classes, get the questions answered, which you'll get. Bill has always said, when it comes to market timing, no one's better. You know, who agrees with Bill? Who agrees? Hold on, go back to that slide. I got to see who here agrees with Bill when it comes to market timing. Just type yes in there if you agree with Bill. There's Neil, Claire. Oh man, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Everybody that's typing in knows it to be true. Bill's got it right. Bill doesn't miss too many things, does he? How important is market timing? I'm telling you, it's going in the next stop, 67.19. Where would SPX be? 66.59 if we get that high. By the way, that's the all-time high. Okay. Now, I'm going to throw some bonus trades in there. I haven't done this yet, but I plan to do a bonus trade where you pay $1 and go for 20 bucks. I'm doing this because my goal is to do this. Buy one at $1 at the right day, right time, and take it to 20. It happens, but you got to be very particular to do this trade. So the jackpot trade will be a bonus trade I do in the beta program or the annual program. I'll do this, okay? If you like what I do, then we'll talk. Anybody like that idea? Pay $1 and sell it for 20? I've been doing it personally, working on it. And I've been refining my timing. It's a heck of a trade. About 25% I've grown a small account. Not bad in a month. Pay $1, go for 20. That's a jackpot trade, I call it. If it sets up, I'll give you one. In the next month, I'll be live from 9:45 to 10:30. I'll give you the criteria for the jackpot trade to go for $1 to 15. That's a conservative view. Each day in September on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we will post inside the room the updated SPX SSP. You can compare it, and we'll have a master class on that next week. Okay, that will be posted, and we'll have a master class. Put that on the agenda. Next week, I'll do that probably Wednesday is what I'm thinking, or Tuesday or Thursday. One of those days will work, okay? Maybe Thursday, okay? The one-year membership, $2,000. Sign up at dtitrader.com/SPX-beta. You can call 904-706-3532. Here's what I would tell you. With only 20 spots left, contact, if you're interested, you got some questions, take one of those spots. Put your name and email and phone number in here. We'll have Kelly get a hold of you and try to get you set up and what I would say, speed it up to make sure you get everything in your lap for the weekend. Okay? Kelly or Jeffrey or Corrine will give you a call. How do I get the best results? Well, sign up right now. Do not wait. 904-706-3532. If you got a small account, I'll show you how to avoid the pattern day trade rule. Very simple, but I'll teach you how to do it. We got a master class in that, by the way. 904-706-3532. If I had a small account and wanted to grow it, I'd be in this program. You should be able to do the simple trades, either long or short. You'll be able to find the trades. We went through a whole class on that to show you how easy it is to find what we're trading. I limited it to 100 because I knew there was going to be a lot of hand-holding getting past the 70%. I did that, but now I got to do the XSP. Daniel, put your phone number and we'll have somebody contact you and help you get it worked out on your email, okay? Anybody that's a member of this program can reach out to Roe at DTI Trader. He'll get me on the phone if he needs to. Generally speaking, he can handle all the questions you have, but if you have one that you can't answer, I'll be available. If you're new to trading, why not with what I'm teaching? Jim said yesterday what I taught him, he paid $2.50, sold it for $9. He's up 260%. That ought to get your attention. Way to go, Jim. How did Jim get there? Well, he signed up. He went through the training. He's on his own flying, but he'll be there on Tuesday and Thursday when I'm live, I bet. Always bring something to the table. Get Daniel's number, please. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll post this. That's why I want to teach the master class on premium capture using that, where that'll be very valuable for people that want to use it. 904-706-3532. Hey, folks, pony up and be part of riding Secretariat. This is Secretariat, if I ever had Secretariat as a service. Perfect. Any questions anybody has? I don't want to lose anybody that might be on the fence. I want to answer the question, okay? One of my customers just said this is a gold mine. Jay, I trade both of them, futures and options. They're all great. I had a Delta 50, yep. Delta 50, yeah, absolutely. All right, it's 10 after 12. We're going to come back at 2 for the retirement center. Anybody has any questions at all? Ask now. Do I think the market's going up today is a great question. Somebody asked me that question.
Okay, folks, this was a recording from last Friday, I take it, because Tom was saying there was a retirement session at 2. So that was from last Friday. Today is Thursday.
Jonathan, did you notice the market did go up? It went to 67.56.
That's right.
And the reason I'm doing this today, folks, we're entering a period of time to finish out the beta program. It's not too late for you. Today at 3:30 to 4, I plan on being live at 3:30 for the members. I'm pretty excited about this. And there is a new rule just got approved for the new pattern day trade rule. You no longer will need 25,000 in your account. You'll be down to 2,000, which is more acceptable. So, boy, this program is timely for anything else. Did y'all hear what I just said about that pattern day trade rule? Isn't that great?
It's the best news of the year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, really, think about this program and that. Okay, think about this and that. Okay, that's pretty cool stuff. So that ought to help everybody. Folks, get joined. Be back at 3:30. I tried to explain this to you. We spent time. This is a big day. Don't wait. Let me just say this, if I just finished a small class, be sure to contact Kelly, contact Kareen, contact Jeffrey Andrak. Let's make sure y'all get that done, because that's a super package I put together for you, and that will go away if you don't take it. So make sure you get it done, hopefully today. And we're about to have some fun. Okay. So like I always say, I'll see you on the flip side, and the flip side starts at 3:30 today. Enjoy being with everybody.